What's up, guys? My ex-Jehovah's Witness friends, how are you? It's a lovely day today and I've got no work to do. It's a bit strange. Been quite busy recently, but the phone's just died off. Nobody's calling for carpet cleaners. Disappointing. So I thought I'd make this video. I hope you're all doing well, as I said. I wanted to make this video. It's going to be my first and only, or my last. I did make a brief video about the Russian ban. It's going to be my last video about the Russian ban. Don't want to get into all the crazy arguments that the EXJW community has been having. I like to sort of skirt around this stuff and just pick at things. I like to mock them when I see them, but I don't like to get too involved because it seems to get so angry. I'm going to say a couple of things, right? Number one, it's okay that we all disagree. That's okay. That's what you call freedom, okay? Do you remember a time in your life when you all used to have to sit together and pretend to think the same thing? Think about it. Okay, it's a good thing that we disagree. And number one, well, I told you it's about freedom. Number two, you're not stupid because you think differently or you have a different opinion. Number three, you're not a bad person, right? You may say a silly thing, you might have dumb opinions sometimes, but it's not necessarily the case this time. Now, one of the things I really didn't like about this recent discussion amongst witnesses, and I don't even want to call it a discussion because it wasn't, it was more of a diatribe. It was between I'm going to say there's two factions. There's not really, because the ex-Jehovah's Witness community is millions strong, and most ex-Jehovah's Witnesses don't even know we YouTubers exist. So, but those of us who do, and those of us who are involved on the YouTube sort of field, and who do videos, and who are activists for whatever that means, there seems to be sort of two camps. There's the people who follow Lloyd, John Cedars, and JW Survey. There's the people who follow who are sort of more independent-minded. I was going to say they're sort of they're a group, but they're not a group. I mean, I'm friends with many of them, and I don't think that there's a coherent argument or opinion among any of them. We all have different views, and the beauty of it is I can talk to the Unwitness, and I can talk to Faithful Slave, and I can talk to Eric, and I can talk to Mike and Kat, or what do you call them, Thing and Katia. And I can talk to all of them, and I don't fall out with them if we disagree. It's okay, we just move on. But that's life, and that's a good thing, and that's what's called freedom. It's called freedom of our minds, and we have that now. So it's an absolute pleasure, and it's a privilege to have it, so cherish it. The other thing I would say is I really have been disappointed in what has happened amongst the sort of the anti-ban side, which has been to call people stupid, which has been to call them complicit in the crimes of Vladimir Putin, which has been to say that they're against human rights. Although I don't really think human rights are a thing much. I think they're an excuse for social justice warriors like John Cedars to get on his high horse. Then they've done these nasty little flowcharts which explain that we all need to seek medical help. I didn't like that. I didn't think that was cool. Where was I? Oh yes, flowcharts telling us how we all need to seek professional help immediately. Thought that was really sad and disappointing. I would have this conversation with John, except John defriended me for the great crime, the high crime and misdemeanor of going on the vast apostate hour and mentioning that I thought it was okay that we poke fun at each other, where it was merited, and apparently that was too much. What I would say is that if ex-Jehovah's Witnesses are going to have contact with each other, if we're going to have debates, which we always are, do it in the spirit of fairness, do it in the spirit of assuming the person has good motives, and also understand something, and I'm talking to myself here, right, and I'm also talking to people like Lloyd and others. Don't assume that you know best because you've read the five different ways about the 5 different types of false argumentation. Don't assume that you're now sort of super educated because you've left a cult. You're really not. And I'm speaking to myself now. We ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, many of us, not all, some are super smart, but many of us, we have huge gaps in our educations, and for us to jump out and scream our opinions and say, I'll never forgive you for having a different opinion. Never, I will always remember it. In 5 years' time, you might well sit back and go, yeah, maybe that would have been a good idea. You know, I've lost track of the time, counted the amount of times that things that I thought were absolute since leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses are absolutely mean nothing to me now. So I would say that if we ex-Jehovah's Witnesses are going to have rows, we're going to have fights amongst each other, that it's a bad idea to be quite so dogmatic, because we a lot of us aren't qualified to be so. That said, the Jehovah's Witnesses look like they're going to be banned. Is it a good thing? I've expressed my opinion. I think that it could be a terrible thing. It could be a good thing. I'd see that a lot of us ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, we rightfully worry about our family and relatives and friends that are still in the cult, but we've also got to have an eye and a heart towards the people who are not. And we've got to say, hey, listen, you know, if the Jehovah's Witness movement's banned, hopefully that slows down members joining. And that saves people who were never Jehovah's Witnesses from ever becoming Jehovah's Witnesses, which is surely what it's really all about. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're doing well, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.